go. Those of you who don't pass, we'll have to start again. We'll do that all day. All the questions right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are now standing beside Tower Green. This grassed area here, Tower Green. It's our village green here at the Tower of London. Now, behind me on Tower Green, you can see a small glass memorial, which is commemorating the private execution site. As the name suggests, executions were carried out in this area, but they were carried out in private. Public executions, they were carried out outside the Tower of London on Tower Hill, the location of which I've already shown you. There were 6 beheadings in this area. I'll tell you about them in a few moments. First of all, I'll just point out some of the buildings in this local area. Firstly, to my right, down this cobbled path, you'll come to the entrance of the Bloody Tower. Within there, you'll find exhibitions about the 2 princes, Sir Walter Raleigh, and also Thomas Overbury. He was kept as a prisoner there, poisoned and murdered in 1613. Not by us, I might add. His own friends come and do it for us, isn't that nice? Moving round to the right, we come to this very large, black and white, perfectly preserved Tudor building, which is known as the Queen's House. It was built around 1540, so it's one of the very few, if only, remaining Tudor buildings in London. The others destroyed by the Great Fire of 1666. It is a royal residence, so therefore gets an armed guard outside, serving soldier, I believe, today from the Grenadier Guards. Now, like all of the buildings here at the Tower of London, it was used at some one stage to house prisoners. Some notable prisoners held in the Queen's House: Henry VIII's 5th wife, Queen Catherine Howard, prior to her execution. William Penn, the founder of the state of Pennsylvania in America, was also held in there. And more recently, in 1941, Rudolf Hess, Adolf Hitler's deputy. On a day-to-day basis today, though, ladies and gentlemen, the constable resides in there, a man called Lord Dannet. The buildings with the blue doors either side the Queen's House is again more accommodation for some of my Yeoman Warden colleagues. Moving round to the right behind me now, you can see the Beauchamp Tower. Now, if you were to enter the Beauchamp Tower, you will find on the wall nearly 100 inscriptions or medieval graffiti carved onto the walls by some of the prisoners. Some of the graffiti in there is over 500 years old. Moving round to the right again, we come to this building here, the Chapel Royal of St Peter ad Vincula. We'll be entering there shortly. Moving round to the right again, this very large building here, it's called the Waterloo Block. It was actually built as a barracks for 1,000 soldiers in around 1845. So it's one of the newest buildings we have here at the Tower of London. We're very proud of our new building here at the Tower. Now, today though, ladies and gentlemen, it is the home of the Crown Jewels and Royal Regalia. The entrance is beneath that very large clock. As you pass through the Crown Jewels, when you exit the far end, if you look to your left, you'll see the location of the toilets. So you don't have to ask me on the way out now, do you? Through the gap on the left. Anyway, the far end of the square though, that building looking onto us now, is the Museum of the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers. They are a British Infantry Regiment. They were founded here at the Tower of London in around 1685. They were formed as a response to the Monmouth Rebellion, which I've already told you about. Moving through the White Tower, which I've already told you about, let's make our way down there to Tower Green. The private memorial here, there were 6 beheadings in this area. The first of those, Henry VIII's 2nd wife, Anne Boleyn. She was sentenced to death on the 2nd floor down the White Tower, up here by the way. She, though, had asked to be executed in the French manner with a 2-sided sword. Very unusual form of execution in this country, so we had to bring someone from France to do the job for us. The man who did do the job took her head from her shoulders so swiftly that as he held her head up for all to see, her lips and eyes were still moving in prayer. He's obviously taken her by surprise. 5 years later, Margaret Pole, the Countess of Salisbury, to lose her life here on Tower Green. The following year, though, 13th of February 1542, the axe will fall twice the same day. The first victim, Henry VIII's 5th wife, Queen Catherine Howard. The second victim, her lady-in-waiting, a Jane Boleyn, the Viscountess of Rochford. Anne Boleyn's sister-in-law, by the way. 12 years later, 1554, Lady Jane Grey made her way from number 5 onto the grass here to have her head removed from her body. Now her husband, Lord Guildford Dudley, he was held in the Beauchamp Tower, beheaded an hour before his wife, but outside the Tower of London on Tower Hill, within the area I've already shown you. The last beheading here, ladies and gentlemen, 1601, a man called Robert Devereux. He was the last, he was involved in a, I'll start there, Siobhan. What was he involved in? Let's cross him off. There were 5 beheadings in this area. I'm making it all up. The place was built by Disney in 1937. It's all plastic. My PDR this year is going to be so bad at this. Well, it's better than last year. So, ladies and gentlemen, the last beheading here, 1601, was a man called Robert Devereux, 2nd Earl of Essex. He was involved in a minor plot against Elizabeth I. He was a very popular man, though, in the London population. 2 executions were brought into the Tower that day. At least one could not do the job. Unfortunately, the one who did do the job had to have 3 blows of the axe to dispatch poor old Robert Devereux. Isn't that horrible? Not as bad as this tour today, ladies and gentlemen. You get what you pay for on these things. How much it costs? Free! Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to see where all these people are buried?
Yes.
Morbid lot. They're all buried in the chapel here, ladies and gentlemen. So, wait before you go. So we'll make our way from here to the Chapel Royal of St Peter ad Vincula. You're quite welcome to join me. Unfortunately, there are a few rules in the chapel. Firstly, within the chapel, there's no photography or video photography allowed. Secondly, gentlemen, it's still a place of Christian worship, so as long as your religion permits, please wear your hats. Thirdly, there's no eating, drinking or smoking allowed within the Chapel Royal of St Peter ad Vincula. Now, when you go into the chapel, make your way right in. There's someone to sit down. As you go through the doorway, though, just be aware there is a small step. Don't have a tendency to jump up and catch out the unwary visitor. So be careful with your footing. Earlier today, a lady was so careful looking at the steps, she actually fell down the stairs. So there's a set of stairs as you go around the corner, then there's a step. Right, I'd like to make my colleague, I'll see you.